Chaos is an RPG supplement keyed to the rules of D&D 5th edition, which gives you a whole system for playing as fiends, specifically devils and demons. This is all within the 5e rules framework, so your character is defined by things like their hit dice and proficiencies at the most fundamental level, but there are some new mechanics offered in this book that add a lot of value to this proposition of playing as a demon. In this video, I'm just going to run through 4 of the playable demon types offered in the free PDF that is promoting the Kickstarter of this project. 2 of them are classes and 2 are races. Out of the 6 races available in this project, I'll be showing you the Plantoid and the Objectoid. The Hell Warden and Shadow are classes. This video is sponsored, but the creators have not asked me for anything but a video. As always, I will include my honest opinion at the end of this video. And at the time of this recording, the Kickstarter is live and the links are below. In the free 120-page adventure, Ambergleam's Demise, which really exercises the potential fun of playing as a demon with all the new rules on offer, there's an interesting discussion on playing demons. And by the way, the authors here purposely don't make a distinction between devils and demons. Rule of Chaos uses its own fantasy world, and all these demons come from a place called Hell. Also, the authors don't want you to concern yourself with alignment too much. The idea is that, quote, demons don't have to be evil. I think there's been a lot of fatigue in recent years when it comes to D&D alignment, and this is as good a time as any to sidestep this aspect of the game's core rules. Another aspect of playing a demon is that you're usually being summoned and exist on a normal plane under some kind of duress, usually under a contract. Under most circumstances, you can't outright kill your summoner, and there might be other ironclad restrictions on you during your visit. But this is the most fun aspect of the whole premise, I think. Since these rules start you off as a relatively high-powered PC, the summoner's limitations on you force you to think like a demon in terms of finding loopholes in their contracts and just being creative in order to get your way. There's also a whole baked-in objective for all demons in this rule set, in that they're always trying to get mortals to bend to their will, and that's accomplished either through good roleplay or the use of specific powers and lucky rolls. In the short term, subverting the will of mortals earns them literal points. In the long term, fulfilling a contract, usually in part by subverting wills, will make the demon stronger upon their return to Hell. There are some hard and fast rules for demons in Rule of Chaos that are worth noting. The first is that they all have a true form, and it always looks demonic. They actually describe it best as saying that any mortal could recognize their true form as a demon if they saw them, but the specific details of what that looks like can be anything you can think of. You also have a disguised form, which is usually pleasant or attractive to mortals. Also, unarmed attacks in your true form are considered magical as well as their normal type. As far as size, your true form is one of 5 size classes that you cannot change, but each of those classes come with fun pros and cons. As far as magic, they all use arcane magic and manage a pool of arcanum points. For physical demons, these points create arcane spell slots, and for non-physical demons, they also replace hit points. Your true size determines the number of arcanum points you have to work with, and you can replenish those points with rests as well as corruption of the world and the people within it. All demons speak Infernal and whichever language the summoner speaks, as long as they are in the summoned world, and they are all immune to disease and poison. Okay, so let's take a look at one of the classes that put you in the shoes of a demon, the Shadow. The main feature of these is that they hide in shadows. Think Shijima of the 8 Devils of Kamon in Ninja Scroll. They can weave in and out of shadows effortlessly, and obviously use that to their advantage in combat. In terms of the rules, you're actually using a bonus action to change between your shadow form and your true form, and that shadow form has to be roughly the same size as your true form. If your hit points reach 0, or bright light hits you while you're in shadow form, or if the surface you're hiding on is destroyed, you revert to your true form and are possibly stunned for 1 round. In true Shijima form, at level 1, you can summon 2 daggers. At level 2, you get a bonus dash, disengage, or hide action each turn. But there's another major feature of Shadow Demons, and it's that you can consume gold pieces in order to create non-magical items. And they contain the same value that you've transmuted into the item. So, for example, you can consume 1,000 gold pieces and then craft a strange sword worth 200 gold, at which point you still have 800 gold of inner value to use on other items. The 3 subclasses that you can choose from lean into different features of the Shadow Demon. The Unseen uses an economy of shadow points to create things like Shadow Bomb, which is a radius of magical darkness in which you and your allies are twice as fast and have higher likelihood of landing attacks. Or Glyph of the Unseen Ways, which is a portal that can teleport you anywhere within 120 feet. The Deadly subclass emphasizes tracking creatures or objects with glyphs and seeing and hearing through an object, kind of like installing a hidden camera in any object. The Dream Delver gives you an economy of dream dice, which are spent to seed nightmares into any creature you touch. As you level up your Dream Delver, the dreams can get worse and worse until you're able to control the creature while it's asleep through limited possession. You can also interact with the creature in their dream or conjure up memories of theirs during a dream. There's a lot of fun that can be had with this one, as long as the GM and player are creative and permissive of each other's imaginations. Objectoids are one of the demon races available. Objectoids have a true form that is always slightly transparent, and their main feature is that they can inhabit any object that is in the same size category as their true form. You have to be higher level to possess magical items at higher levels of rarity. When inside an object, you can hover around and whatnot, but if you're chained or tied down, then obviously you can't move. There are a few other features worth noting as an Objectoid demon. In your true form, you can pass through solid objects. When you're summoned, you always appear within or possessing an object. You can eventually possess objects that are different from your true size, and then possess up to 3 objects at once as long as they're within 30 feet of each other. Any creature that holds or wears you as an object will gain your proficiencies as well. Hell Wardens are another demon class that you can choose. Hell Wardens are more of what I would call careerist demons. They tend to respect their summoner's contract and try to attain ever higher levels of power by fulfilling those contracts. Their starting class features include the ability to sense any nearby celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet, and the ability to cast touch spells at a distance. They use a pool of D8 aura dice that can be spent on so-called aura abilities, and those abilities include healing, repelling, creating hemispherical shield domes, and gaining true sight. Other abilities include spending a spell slot to inflict necrotic damage with a melee weapon, in addition to the weapon's regular damage, and adopting one of several fighting styles that afford small attack or defense bonuses. At level 3, you choose an Infernal Path, which each have a few unique spells at certain levels. The Henchman of Wrath has an overlord objective of trying to ignite and foster wrath and hatred amongst mortals. As they level up, they gain access to 8 distinct spells that can help them in their mission. They also, over time, pick up combat abilities based on your charisma modifier and regenerate arcanum points more quickly, as well as heal HP when delivering necrotic damage. The Fate of the Subordinate path is characterized by a slavish devotion to your creator, even if that means violating the contract of your summoner. But whether you succeed in following the will of your creator or not, you're still rewarded with additional abilities as you level up. The Infused by Chaos path for the Hell Warden involves the demon being recruited by a much higher force than their creator, the very essence of hell itself, chaos. There are stated tenets of chaos, and your character is sort of bound to them. As for the actual spells that the Hell Warden has access to, they include a number of spells from the 5e SRD, but also a number of new spells, running the gamut from attacks, defenses, and enchantment. As mentioned ago, each of the Hell Warden paths have a few unique spells of their own as well. The Plantoid is one of 6 demon races that you can play as. The idea here is that your demon is a medium-sized plant-like creature of any sort that can grow and shrink to any of the various size categories defined by the book, but your true size is actually always medium. The traits that you can adopt are things like bark, which increase your AC, or woodwork, which allows you to take on the appearance of objects that are derived from plants, but not living plants, like a piece of furniture that's made of wood. You can also adopt the ghoulish appetite trait, which will give you quick HP after devouring corpses. So I think after all said and done, the whole premise of Rule of Chaos is inevitable. There has been so much already done in the 5e space, so at this point it's just time to start developing player rules for what might have been once considered unplayable creatures. And it goes further than just naming some proficiencies and traits here. I think at the time of this recording, the Plantoid type is the least developed and possibly the most troubled from a play experience perspective. Disguising one's character as a plant or a tree might be an interesting trick for a particular scene or maybe a part of a scene, but for that to be the central conceit of a character's story arc does risk repetition and boredom. Likewise, the Objectoid demons have sort of the same potential gameplay problem, where your character is disguised as a sword or something. Pretty cool in small doses, but can you really sustain an interesting player arc by becoming different objects? The notion is actually so strange that it makes me really kind of want to play test that one. It's possible that there are a lot of untapped roleplay situations there. The Shadow Demon and Hell Warden classes, however, are really fleshed out and compelling right out of the gate. The Shadow Demon in particular, with the ability to not only generate items after consuming gold, but to invade the dreams of other characters, is rife with interesting play possibilities. There are a lot more moving parts to Rule of Chaos that I haven't covered as well, like the Chaos Counter. Every time certain actions are taken, the so-called Chaos Counter is increased by 1, and when a certain threshold is crossed, a Chaos card is drawn and takes effect. And the free adventure Amber Gleam's demise really showcases one of the main play propositions of Rule of Chaos, which is honoring or not honoring your summoner's contract. But like I said, this video is only meant to cover the first 4 demon types that are playable. If you'd like to know more, click on the link to the project below. Let me know if you're backing Rule of Chaos and what your thoughts are on making D&D monsters as playable characters. Thanks for watching. See ya.